Welcome to FarmRPG. Bhelogan here. Today's video, we have the long-awaited perk tier list update. We've had quite a few perks added to the game recently. I hadn't gone in and given my ranking on these officially yet. So we're going to talk about that in this video, and also some min-maxing tips for various things that have come up as questions by users when they've asked, hey, is this better than that? And my answer is usually, I don't know, let's find out. So I've got a couple of those to go over as well. Start with the perk tier list. This is updated in the library. It is also updated in my spreadsheet linked in community guides. Fully complete. The spreadsheet guide had been a little bit out of date. I'd updated the library page a little bit more recently. They should be in sync now though, and mostly agreeing with each other. This is broken out into three sections. The first one is things you can buy with skill perk. There's not a whole lot of changes in this section. The big one here, I think, is Bottle Warmer was added as a new perk, costs 15 skill points to use. I gave it as a tier of 3. What this does is it makes it so when you put a wine bottle in the cellar, it instantly has 20 days of value added to it, which is worth about 2 million silver when that happens. Since it's not a super high chance, it's 1 in 30 bottles that's going to happen just a couple of times, 5 times maybe in a full cycle. So it's worth a little bit of silver. If you've got extra points and want to put it in, that's fine, but it's a chance. One, it's a low chance. It's not something that's going to proc all the time. So I listed that in here. Now, one big change to your perks that is worth pointing out came with our recent updates with item masters. So when you are mastering items now, they give you perk points. So what that means, if you've got 20 items mastered, you've got 20 new skill perks that you can use. And this is awesome, especially once you hit all level 99s. You've got no more skill points to buy, but there's still a lot of perks you'd potentially like to have. I have taken advantage of this, and I had enough skill points unlocked that I was able to unlock some more of the artisan perks. So I've got all of them now, but the 30.1 for 15 silver. So I'm going to be working on mastering items here after once I finish off leveling up all my pets. Look what else I have. Bottle warmer I don't have. I don't have any of the bait savers, and I also took off all the primers because you know what? I've got level 99 and all those skills. No reason to keep getting experience in them. All right, back to the tier list. Next section is the quality of life perk. Yeah, bulletin board still is hanging out here at the bottom, not really worth it. Collectomatic is on here. I put this as a 2 just because I showed why I probably won't be getting it in my videos earlier, because there's a lot of times when you like to collect things, but you don't necessarily want to pick up the stakes from your pet that can get those if you're trying to add them up. However, we've had a couple new pets added to the game that are changing that a little bit with the black dragon and the red dragon that now bring a lot of rune stones, and you want to collect those for crafting lava and infernal spheres. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the min-max section. So that is the biggest difference here in supply. So that is everything for your quality of life. Now with your normal perks that you can buy in the supply shop, there's quite a few things here. Somehow I completely missed reinforced netting that makes it so you catch 15 fish instead of 10. This one's absolutely huge for your profits, instantly adding 50% to your profits. Definitely one you want to have when you're using a ton of nets. I swapped the value of the wine bottles with fancy wine and cellar insulation with the bank perks. So both of these caps got increased to 10 million between the bank and the wine. But wine now, when you're maxing it out with the change to how quickly it gains value in cellar installation, is worth something like 45 million, 46 million silver per day, whereas the bank is still only 10. So I swapped those perks. Yes, it costs more to get the orchard, or not the orchard, but your vineyard up and running, but it's more total value at the end of the day. So I just swapped those. Still worth it. Extra wish gives an extra toss in the well. Mostly this is useful to help find things that you're trying to get from quests if you need them. It's also useful in hunting down and trying to get extra runes for crafting lava and inferno spheres for the ones that come the least frequent from your pets. All right, that's the update to the tier list, all in here. Let's dig into some min-maxing tips with some kind of interesting questions that have come up. And this is going to be in my spreadsheet here at the very end. So the first one came up, asked, hey, would it be better to let your wine mature to 10 million silver and then sell it on day 33? Or would it be better to actually sell it the day before when it's near that boundary, but not quite there yet at day 32? And I thought, no, it's definitely better to make it to wait, because it's, 300,000, roughly 270,000 that you're gaining in silver that last day. That seems like it's more than it's gaining on average, but I wasn't positive. So we put it in just a spreadsheet here to show your wine value every day. This is with max perks, by the way, for your cellar installation and the 10 million cap. And what we did is just listed the wine value, and then I listed the profit per day if you sold it on that day every cycle. So like, for example, 5, if you sold it on the 5th day every time, how much would be worth, and about 1 million per day. We come down here to the very bottom, and fully matured at 33 at 10 million, it's worth 45.4545 million silver per day. If you sell it at 32 days though, and it's 9.7 million silver, you end up with just slightly higher silver per day at 45.623 million silver per day. So is it a huge difference? No, it's not drastic. What is that, about 170 million silver more, somewhere in that range? But it is slightly higher. So 32 days, there you go, slightly better. All right, another question that came up, because with pets, with the dragons, we're able to craft quite a few Inferno and Lava Spheres per day. And depending on the drops, I'm getting anywhere from 5 to 15 of each of these a day, which ends up being a pretty nice chunk of silver that I'm adding. And it's fun when you've got a lot of revenue coming in anyway, just add more sources. They slowly all add up. Question was, is it better for these Inferno spheres and Lava spheres as well to manually craft these or to use the auto crafter? Because the auto crafter, when it dupes an item, when it duplicates it, you're only paying the crafting fee once. Whereas with manual crafting, you have the chance to produce more, because when the resources aren't used, you can use them again, but you're paying that crafting cost every time. It just so happens that the crafting cost on these are pretty high. So we did a chart to break it down to see, is it worth it or not? And what it comes down to is your artisan perks, and if you have those. So the way we broke this out is the Inferno Sphere costs 1,000,000 silver to craft, sells for 2 million. The Lava Sphere is double that, 2 and 4. I'm assuming your max selling perks, that is, I didn't list this really well, but you can sell these at 60% over, so that's 3.2 million, and the Lava Sphere is at 6.4 million. And then did a breakdown of what the crafting cost is with each breakout of perks. 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 is the maximum if you have all of the artisan perks from skills and from the supply shop. And then we just did a comparison. I just multiplied it by 100 to make the numbers bigger. Realistically, maybe you're doing 10 per day, so cut these down by decimal. But your total profit starts off better doing auto crafting, and that changes once you hit about 40% perk in your artisan skill. So 40%, it flips, and then manual crafting ends up being slightly more profit, and then it continues to go up as that total cost of crafting the items go down. For most players, if you aren't investing in artisan perk, and you probably won't till very late game, it's actually better to use the auto crafter for these. They're going to get spit out pretty quick. Chance of duping is 20% instead of roughly 25-ish is what I use for these calculations for doing it manually, but you get slightly more profit that way. And again, it's not drastic. In worst case scenario, if you're paying full price, the difference in this is maybe about 10 million silver per 100, so like 100k roughly on average per sphere. And there you have it, an answer to that question. All right, and then here I just put out the bottle warmer, where what its value was at 20 days, 2.3 million silver roughly. If you popped one in, pops that, instantly sell it and throw in a new one and start over, or let it mature. Your choice on that. Probably still better to let it mature, but it knocks off 20 days out of your 33, so you'll get to that cap in 12 or 13 days sooner, depending on which one you're going. All right, there you have it. Perk tier list update and some min-maxing tips that have just come up from user questions that I found were interesting. Hopefully you learned something, found this useful. As always, thanks for watching.